For the crop over season, I dance mainly with Dance Machine. We're known mostly for backing up Crossfire. Then obviously we dance with Edwin in competition, we've danced with Kiyomal in competition. Mikey is also a constant person that we back up. He comes to us every year without fail. He's like Dance Machine, no question. He uses us. We've also backed up TC when she competes, Natalie when she competes. We've danced for Ian Webster as well, and Hyper Sounds. And there are many more that we've danced for over the years, but those are the most recent and consistent ones that we dance with. Dance is 100% a part of me. I've been doing it since I was 3 years old. I trained under Sharon Trotman at Dance Choice Barbados, and then from there I started performing. My first performance experience was this Dale Smith Productions on the hotel circuit, and then I joined Dance Machine after, actually, and they're who I do crop over with, and it's always so much fun whenever I'm on stage. And it doesn't matter the type of dance either, I always have a good time because dance makes me happy. Dancing and sharing my craft and telling a story with people makes me happy. So regardless of what it is, I'm glad to be on stage telling the choreographer's story or the story of the song through my body. So dance is just a whole part of me, and it genuinely makes me happy. Yes, I entered NIFCA in, I believe it was 2015, with a piece that I did to a spoken word piece by a Bajan artist, actually a Daisy. I heard her song and I loved it. It's called Dance Slow, and I love it. I loved it. I fell in love with it. I had to choreograph to this. I had to choreograph to this song, and I did a piece to it for a production of Another Nature dance company put on. It was a part of that dance company as well, and their production was called Tides of Life. And I put it on there, and the creative director of Another Nature Olivia Hall, asked me to enter into NIFCA, and I was like, I don't know, NIFCA is touch and go sometimes with things. And she's like, no, Mel, I want you to enter it. So I entered into NIFCA, and I incorporated a Daisy into the piece for NIFCA, and that made me really excited, and I was so glad that she said yes. And that was my first experience choreographing a piece for competition. And I got a bronze at NIFCA, and I felt really good about that because even though it was a bronze, I got all the way to finals. I got through prelims, I got through semifinals, and I got all the way to finals. So that bronze made me feel really good, and that people got to see my piece. And then in 2014, I worked with the Energy Band, and at that time it was Kurt Brown and Ian Webster that were heading the band. And both of them entered competition, and both of them got through. I choreographed for Ian Webster for his Sweet Soca, and I choreographed for Kurt for his Party Monarch. So I got both sides of the competition and that experience. And as much as I love dancing, being a creative director is really hard because you have to have the dancers, the costumes, and the singer. Everything has to come together, and then there's props, obviously, and fireworks and all these things. And it was really a very different experience from just being a dancer. And I love the choreography part of it, but the creative production part was the most stressful. It was fun, but it was so stressful. I'm not sure if I'll do it again though. Not sure. Maybe. One artist that I really like his voice is Joaquin. I really love his voice. I loved his song last year, This Place. And he actually worked with Dance Machine, but our choreographer, he didn't actually work with the majority of dancers, like the core dancers of Dance Machine, he didn't work with, but he worked with our creative director. And I really love his voice, so I would like to work with him. And I have a poet friend, and his name is DJ Simmons, and he works with this guy called Adrian Green and this guy called Simon Pipe, and they make some really great music together. And I would love to do something with them and also to their music, because I don't know, when I hear their music, it makes me smile. I can't explain. I think because it's in Bajan, and I like to hear us on the stage and like present it to the world as Bajan. So I think that when I hear them, it makes me smile. So it's like, yes, I want to work with them. I want to do something to that because that's Bajan, and I am 100% Bajan. Anybody that knows me, I'm 100% Bajan. I love this little island that we have. I wouldn't trade it for anything. So definitely would like to work with those spoken word artists. I've also danced for 2 Mile Hill, but that's like home. Here there's my cousin. I went to school with Chris and Andrea and Russell, and I would like to continue working with them as well. They're really taking off and I'm so proud of them. But even when they get big, I still want to continue to work with them because I love their music as well. Those people are very important. I mean, yes, our festival is about our culture, and our culture is about the muse, and they put it forth through the music for Crop Over. But just hearing songs on the radio or just seeing a singer come out on stage and like, well, even without the musicians, they can't go on stage because there will be nobody to play the music. And then even if they don't use musicians, they have to have a track. So that has to be done by the producer, and background vocalists have to be on that for it to sound good. And then if you come for a show, if you come for a whole show, a whole spectacular thing, you're gonna want to see dancers because, I mean, not to be bad, but you might get bored just looking at one person on the stage all the time with a microphone. So backup dancers are there to add, to fill the stage and to add and to give another creative aspect other than the music and the vocals. Dance is another creative aspect. And then behind that, dancers can't go out there in nothing or in just anything. They have to look like a group. So costumes have to be coordinated, choreography has to be done. And even though some people might be, oh, they're just going out on the stage and dancing. No, choreography is actually the hardest part of the process because you have to create the story from the lyrics, and it has to be dynamic enough that it projects to the entire crowd and that it will appeal to the majority of the crowd, because you can't appeal to everybody, but that it will appeal to the majority of the crowd. So there's that. And then for our actual festival, in terms of Kadooment, because that's what most people think when they hear Crop Over, they think of Kadooment Day. So the band leaders and everything that goes into that is so vast, and I don't think anyone that is not involved in it fully understands the amount of work that goes into making Kadooment happen from a band leader's point of view. You have to get your theme, you have to get your designers, you have to get your supplies, you have to get your producers for your costumes, and that's just at the beginning. Then there's the actual day where you have to make sure that all of your customers are properly provided for because they paid their money for an experience. And you have to make sure that all of your customers are properly provided for. So you have to make sure you have your trucks with your music and your DJs, and you have to make sure they're well hydrated on the road. We're in the tropics, there's the sun. Yes, we all pray for rain, but we haven't got rain in a long time. So you have to make sure that all of the stuff that you have advertised, you provide, and people have to provide that for you. You can't just, go in a box and be like, okay, I'm gonna take this and this and this. People have to provide that for you, and everybody has to be paid for their work. Everybody has to be paid for their experience. Everybody has to be paid for their time. And when everybody starts to think about it like that, I think the festival on a whole will be more wholesome when everybody respects each other and understand that work goes into everything, effort goes into everything. So everybody should be respected on the same level, because without each other, it can't happen. And the general public that just benefits from it also need to understand people are working hard to give you a product that you believe is value for your money and that you will enjoy as well. So everybody needs to take everybody into consideration. As easy as that is to say, it's hard to do, but everybody needs to take everybody into consideration, and I believe then our festival will be more wholesome and everybody will be able to benefit wholly from our festival. And then once we extend to visitors, then they will come and experience this thing and step into our wholeness and our unity, and they will feel like if they're a part of it, and then we're spread to the entire world and everybody wants to come to Barbados, and we actually have to be telling people, nah, we can't, like, we full, can't take nobody else, sorry. Crop Over is both. Crop Over is both. We are a happy people. Barbadians are a happy people. We love to have a good time. How they say Trinidad love to lime, Barbadians love to have a good time. So I think that partying is just as much of the festival as the cultural aspects, but I don't, and I see that it's heading there. I don't want Barbadians to forget about the cultural part, because that's why it's here in the first place. That's why crop over is here in the first place, because we are celebrating our culture. So I think that we need to keep that in mind, and also to pass it on to the younger generations, because I feel like it's being lost on the younger generation, the importance of our culture, what our culture is, the importance of our culture, and why they need to keep it going as we, the older people, are going out, why they need to keep it going. So crop over is culture and crop over is party, because when we party, we're together. People are happy when they're in a party. It don't matter what you're vexed about. You forget all about that when you're partying, and you party with the people around you, and everybody has a good time. And that is from our culture. That is how Barbadians are. Even though some people might say, I don't agree with you. I believe that Barbadians, when we come together, regardless of what it is, we always have a good time. So that coming from our culture, and with the partying, I think both of them are part of crop over and need to be acknowledged in the same way. So let's not get lost in the fetting, and still remember our culture, because that's where the fetting came from in the first place. I saw a t-shirt on my friend, and I was like, but how this is interesting. And I wanted to figure out how it looks the way it looks. So I went, and it was like, is this t-shirt you got here with GineOn? And I took a look at it, and it was like, I could get that too, I think. So I went home, and I had lots of t-shirts for doing promotions. And I went home, and I started to cut. I just started to cut and to try to figure out how she got a normal looking t-shirt, or how whoever got a normal looking t-shirt to look like this. And I just practiced, and I experimented on the t-shirts that I had at home. And from encouragement from one of my really good friends, Carrie-Ann, she encouraged me to cut our shirts for 4-day. Now I was like, for 4-day? I mean, I know it's 4-day, we're going to get dirty, but we're also going to be in public, and people are going to see us. So I ain't sure that I want to cut our shirts, because then if they look bad, then you'll be like, well, it's me that cut them, and they're going to be shamed. But once I did it, it came out really well. And when we got down to the meeting point for the band that we were with, everybody was like, y'all shirts look real good. Who do that? And she was like, Mel cut them. And I was like, hi, it's me. And I still was not confident in myself, even though lots of people were coming to us and saying, I really like what you did, I really like what you did. The following year, we went back with the same 4-day band, and the band leaders came to me and was like, so I heard that you did this special thing with your t-shirt last year. I'm wondering if you can offer it to our other patrons. And I was like, sure, no problem. I said those words, my brain was going, oh my God, what am I gonna do with these people's shirts? But the people that brought their shirts, I did what I knew at the time, and they were happy with that. And then with the advent of the internet and YouTube and Pinterest and all these different things, I did research, and I keep searching on now for lots of different styles that I could try. And as t-shirts came to me, I would sit and I would try different styles, and it just grew from there. Obviously all of my friends would then be like, for 4-day or whatever, Melon, why you cut my shirt for me? Melon, why you cut my shirt for me? Melon, why you cut my shirt for me? And that's where it grew from. And then I was like, okay, well, I guess I should make something sort of official. So I created a Facebook page, and then with Instagram I created an Instagram page so that more people can find me easily. And now for whatever people are going through, it doesn't even have to be a paid event. It's a regular event. If somebody wants a shirt cut, they'll be like, I got your number from this person, or I saw you on Instagram, or I saw you on Facebook, or I saw you did this girl's shirt and I finally find she, and she told me it was you. So people are finding me. It's easier to find me now, but people are finding me, and it's just flourishing. And I do most of my work in crop over, obviously, for 4-day and the different duvet fets that they have, but people are finding me, and I can't say that I'm upset. I actually enjoy it, because it's another creative thing that I get to do. So I enjoy it, and it's flourishing, and you can come to me with your shirts for crop over. This year I'm associated with Zulu International Inc. Their theme this year is Wanderlust, where we're following a girl on her quest to find the ultimate party vibe. So she goes to all these different countries and islands, but returns home and realizes that the ultimate vibe is actually at home, Barbados for Kadooment. So she travels to Rio for Carnival. She travels to the US for Coachella. She travels to China for Chinese New Year. She goes to our neighbors in Grenada for Jab Jab. She goes over to Jamaica for Passa Passa. And then she comes back home and realizes everything she needed in a party to find the ultimate vibe was right here at home for Kadooment. So that's their theme. I'm working with them in their band house. It's a new experience and I'm learning a lot, but I'm having a lot of fun. And even if you don't choose to jump with Zulu International, do jump for Kadooment Day. It's an experience like none other. There are other carnivals in the Caribbean, but there's no other street party like Kadooment Day. We have a ball on the road. Our music, it gets inside your body and it gets inside your bones, and you just have a ball on the day. Pick a band and come and jump, because even if it's just for this year, 2017, have that experience under your belt. I went to Barbados and I jumped for Kadooment, or I jumped for Kadooment in 2017. I mean, you may not listen, or you might feel like it's not your thing, but try it just once and I promise you, you will have an awesome time on the road. This is Melaney. What's going on?